Okay, so the last one that I wanted to touch base on, and that is essentially creating, sorry, I'm trying to pull up my screen. So creating PDFs and freebies in Canva, right? We do this all the time. So there's my little Zoom. So I feel like the easiest way to create a freebie is to actually write it out first. And then when you have it written, you can then go in and create a Canva PDF to go along with it. Now, why do we do this? Two reasons. One, you can actually give more value this way because you have a written, you can say like, this is my freebie, the written and worksheet. So it's like my freebie and worksheet. And you can just build it out in a Google Drive doc, which is what I normally do. And then I come over here and I create it out in Canva, right? So this is the 90-day blueprint. Maybe some of you all had access to this. I'm not too sure. So if you've already seen this, I apologize. For those who don't, if you want it, you can let me know because it is my freebie. So essentially, when I had the written doc in my Google Docs, I came over here and created a PDF in Canva. So the sizing of this, okay, so this is just 8.5 by 11, which is a typical page, right? A like paper page. And what we did is we just map it out. Now, if you remember my training from before, whether you watched it or not, it does look basic, yes, because we want to keep a plain background anytime you're doing these, because when people go to download it into their computer, it's going to be a smaller file size for them. So it doesn't take as much storage on their computer. And if they want to print it, will still look really cool printed, and it can be printed very easily without wasting tons and tons and tons of ink, right? I mean, how many of you guys have gotten a freebie and they send you the link and it's like all pretty aesthetically, but then you're like, I'm not printing this. It's going to probably cost me 11 bucks, right? So keep the background white and keep your PDF and Canva, keep it simple, right? Because people are most likely going to want to print. I know it's crazy to think people still print these days, but there are a handful of us who still print. So just keep everyone in mind. Now, this wouldn't be like if you're doing an ebook or something like that, right? Make sure that's all glamorous and cool. But this is just for like those freebies or low tickets or any of those worksheets that you want your audience and clients to have. Just keep it simple. So essentially coming through here, we just added these little elements, added headers, add your logo to everything. Please add your logo, forewarning, just for copyright infringement, right? Add your logo so it makes it harder for people to copy your content on every page, as you can see. And of course, yeah, so this is just text. We went all over this. This is, I just play around with all of the fonts over here. So all the colors, they're very, very, very basic, right? And then when I went to download this, I just downloaded it as a PDF standard, because it's just, once again, not taking up as much gigs on my computer. So you could do a PDF print. It's just gonna be a little bit larger file size. So that would be totally up to you, but you would just do a PDF standard or a print on those. But it's a great way. So you can do presentations through Canva, obviously, and you can make a presentation a freebie. But of course, it's really, really easy to do little worksheets over here. And if you wanted to do an 8.5 by 11, you could just type in 8.5 by 11, which would be a mailing label. And you would just click that. They'll give you some suggested templates over here, and most of them will look like papers, which is really cool. So you can play around with a lot of these. These are more like cover photos. And I will say, if you want to make like your first photo stand out, that's fine. But just keep in mind that when people go to print this stuff, they're either going to print in black and white. They don't want to waste their ink. So you might as well just keep the remaining pages as this, like pretty basic. And then I would just have this white. Right? And then you can add the colors in the header and like the subheader or something like that. So do little worksheets. It's really, really fun to do. Again, this is just like content boxes for them to write underneath. There's like little bullets for them to do, lines, like the whole shebang, right? Fill in the box kind of deal, fill in the template. So all these different things, they can print this and fill this out themselves, which is really, really fun. I make freebies in Canva. Well, I use Canva for everything, obviously. So, all right. I hope you enjoyed.